Bonjour tout le monde et bienvenue à Tatouage Keystone Tattoo, Québec Chat Noir, 708 3e Avenue, Québec City, Québec, Canada. Ça c'est part 2 de les vidéos d'aujourd'hui, le TikTok, l'Instagram, le Facebook, le social media advertising. Donc, in part 1 I was talking about how Good Guy finally got the traveler tips back in stock. Now, when I travel, when I go and do stuff on the road, it's convenient to be able to have just a couple boxes of these, and then just, if I'm 7 lining, 5 lining, Magnum, whatever, I don't need. Last convention I went to in Winnipeg, I had Good Guy shipped to my mom's house, so I didn't have to drive across Canada with boxes of tubes, but I used the Eco tubes, which I really like. They're nice, they're stable, they're a good product. The boxes of them are huge. They for the Eco ones, it's like paper on one side and plastic on the other side for the autoclave bags, the sanitary bags that come in, which is really nice. But still, it takes up, which is better than the formed plastic hard plastic case of these guys, or like the hard. Firm, it's solid. The Eco ones come in a soft bag, so you can kind of squish carefully because you don't want to rip the bag. You can squish more into a box to take up less space, but they do take up a lot of space. And if you're at a convention, maybe not you pen users, sorry, but if you're tattooing with traditional tubes and needles and all that stuff, the boxes for the grips take up a bit of space. Which sometimes it's okay, it doesn't matter. You just make a nice little pile and it's all good. Other times, not a lot of room at your station, so you gotta carefully put it in and keep stuff packed up. Or if you're tattooing on the road, like I will be doing August 31st at La Drague for their restricted night. Buy your tickets now, it will sell out. It is Pride weekend in Quebec City. It's going to be bananas. I think the festivities start Thursday and go till Sunday at 4 a.m. or whatever time they close. It's the whole street's going to be blocked off. So if you're doing an event like that, you don't necessarily have space to be stacking a bunch of boxes and extra supplies for all the tattoos you're going to be doing. So these are nice because they take up about the same amount of space as a box of needles. And these guys in their box, even though it is not the not the soft-sided bags, safety bags, single-use bags. These don't take nearly as much space. Obviously, the tip is not connected, so it doesn't need to be as long or as wide. Also, these are only boxes of 10, so because you're not going to be doing as many tattoos, you don't necessarily need to bring, 40, 50, 60, 100 tubes. Anyways, so like I was saying, they finally got these back in stock. Now, you'll notice that the printing station, which is usually behind me in these videos, is still the printing station. And I've been talking about this for a while, but the printing station soon-ish will no longer be the printing station. It will be the autoclave area. We're going to have a sink wired in, and we're going to be getting an autoclave. Currently don't need an autoclave. Why? Why do you ask? Because I use single-use disposable products, which, if you know my ranting for the environment, that's why I like to use the biodegradable tubes. That's why I like to use the biodegradable barriers, the Showa biodegradable gloves. Try to do, with the amount of waste that is being creative, try to keep it use the least amount necessary and still guarantee safety and health, while at the same time trying to reduce the amount of petroleum-based plastic products that will just be going to a landfill. Yes, this stuff will be going to a landfill. Well, not this stuff. The other stuff, this stuff when I use it, will be going to a landfill or to a incinerator. However, if I can make sure that it's not just plastic sitting in the ground indefinitely or plastic that will be incinerated, releasing toxins into the air, that is the goal. To further that goal, autoclave. We're going back to stainless steel tubes, kids. We're going back to we're going back to the old ways. Since clearly we're not going back to the 1920s where no gloves, a bucket, and a sponge. the same needles and inks for every client that walks in. We're not going back that far. And we're not going back to before we knew about some of these nasty bugs and stuff. But we are going back. We're going back to go forward. We're going back to autoclaving, because why produce all these extra plastic? Like, yes, they're biodegradable, and if you use biodegradable, it's good. It's a better option than, especially for a convention, or for a not necessarily a guest spot, but like for a special event. Yes, single-use disposable. You're not going to be running an autoclave, at a tattoo convention. I know they did that back in the day, but this, conventions nowadays do not have a dedicated autoclave section. You're expected to use single-use and change it for every client. Duh-doy. And theoretically, with some of the newer autoclaves on the market, it would be hypothetically possible to bring reusable tools and sterilize them at your booth. I don't necessarily know how the public's optics would think of that. Like, yes, you're doing everything right and what needs to be done, and you're making sure your clients are safe. But I think in the context of a convention, that might not be viewed as positively. And this is part of the reason of why I want to try a pen machine, but pen machines, and I'm not the first person to think this, make me nervous. When you see how people manipulate them, when you see some of the drawbacks of being able to clean them or keep them in a as close to sterile, disinfected state comparatively to a coil machine. Like, yes, I can't throw a coil machine directly into an autoclave. However, I can take it apart and individually clean all the pieces to a level necessary to safely protect people from, cross-contamination. And I know people are going to say, oh, but, you can wrap your pen machine. The amount of videos, I need to stop this, but it's going to go on a rant, and I don't want to do too many videos. The amount of videos I see of somebody wrapping a pen machine, and then, like, okay, they've wrapped it all well and good, but then they go to grab the cartridge off the dirty or the hot tray table where they're keeping, for needle changes, and they're touching the stem end with their dirty glove, and then just jamming it into the pen machine. So you're introducing contaminant into the tattoo machine, the pen machine. And, I guess if you're a really, technical person, I guess you could, in theory, take apart the machine 100% and dip all those pieces into, what needs to be done to clean them. But I'm guessing these people, I don't want to say these kids, these dang kids, get off my lawn. I'm guessing most people are not doing that. So yeah, there's that. Like, I guess you could test it. I don't necessarily know if I want to buy a cheap pen machine to try this with, but there's it's a spray. It's meant for barbers. It's meant for hair clippers. Similar, like different but similar kind of precautions if you're doing hairdressing and barbering. So for your clippers, they sell I don't think it's made by Cavicide, but it's one of the sides, and it's for clippers. It cools them off and it cleans them, and you let them sit, and it protects from. But bear in mind, clippers, yes, they could come in contact with blood, but you generally aren't piercing the skin. Like, if you're piercing the skin as a barber with your clippers, I'm going to say it probably happens, but it's probably not happening regularly. So the spray that you can spray on razors to keep them lubricated and free of any nasty bugs. And we're not going to get into the disinfected, sterilized, and those words. We're not going to start that debate on today's. There is a difference between all those, and it's important to know, but this is not the point of this video. I guess theoretically you could spray down your pen machine with this, but I don't necessarily know how you're going to get it into the pen machine without voiding the warranty, which, fuck it. Void the warranty. Who cares? Fix it. But I don't necessarily know that you're going to want it. Yeah, anyways, I'm rambling. Sorry, kids. Rambling old man here. But anyways, Good Guy Tattoo Supply. If you like trying new things, I was going to show off what I want to do once I get the autoclave with this. Okay, this video is I'm gonna push the 10-minute mark. Stay right there. Don't go anywhere. gonna try and not like make this video too long. Now, I buy cartridges from a company here in Canada called T-Tech Tattoo Supplies. I also sell some of their cartridges at my shop. One of the things they sell on their website is it's a grip. Stainless steel. They also have aluminum if stainless steel is too heavy for you. Personal preference. We're not going to get into that. I have I believe this is the 1-inch stainless steel. As you can see, hello. Wait, I don't know if I'm tilting that. Hello. As you can see, it's all the way through. It's the diameter of your standard tattoo tube if you're doing standard stainless steels, but it has no tip. It is meant for cartridges, so it comes with a plunger bar, so you can use reusable grips with your cartridges. You gotta autoclave this, or chemically sterilize this with one of the many chemicals out there that you can buy that will sterilize, usually for products that can't be autoclaved because of heat or because of water. So there is chemical sterilization. So these can be autoclaved or chemically sterilized. You know what you can also do with these is put one of these tips on it and run traditional needles and just have a couple of these guys and a bunch of these. You throw these out when you're done, and because they're clear plastic, if you're using light colors, haha, you don't got to worry about transfer. You got to sterilize these. So I haven't been using them, but I bought them because I like buying new stuff. I like trying new things out, and like, don't get me wrong, you know, I need to buy a couple sets of some, once the autoclave comes, of your standard traditional, either 3-piece or 1-piece or whatever grip tube system you go with. But that way, I'm just throwing out this little piece of plastic. I'm washing and cleaning this guy, and way less plastic waste in the environment. Ooh. Because so far, to my knowledge, and I've Googled this, I don't know if I'm just Googling the wrong thing. I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever really cares about doing this. Every once in a while, you see different grip and tube systems. I mean, the stainless steel, your standard tube, you know, either back in the day when guys were hand making them from cake icing. I'm gonna pantomime cake icing tips with solder, pen tips, brass plumbing fittings. Like, if you go to any of the museums or you look online, like some of the early, you know, pioneers of tattooing were a pretty industrious group of people. You had to be. There was no, you know, nobody else was doing this. Where was I going with this? I don't know. I can't remember. Anyways, I went off on the rails, and it was all my own fault. Yeah, so, you know, guys were, you know, oh, yeah, different inventions. Sorry. I'm really rambling, and I'm not editing this because I don't care. So you had, you know, the guys with the stainless steel, and then, you know, the back stem piece, the front piece, and then you had the grip, and then people started doing the full long, like, just one piece, like, so it'd be 2 pieces. The tube would have your tip, and, you know, then you'd have the grip, whatever shape or size of weighted grip you'd want. And over time, people, you know, started getting bigger and bigger grips because they felt it was better for the hand, better than the back in the day, like the pencil size. Pencil size, you know, metal tubes, and, you know, grinding down on a pencil, but you've got a heavy machine on the back and bad for balance. So then you start doing bigger grips, but then you really start getting heavier weight in your hand, and eventually over time it takes a toll. However, I think personally we've gone way too far in the wrong direction, and we've gone way too light. I attribute some shoulder problems to using too light of a machine and having to really force the arm and the elbow, and I mean, whatever. So yeah, so a little bit of weight, not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. So yeah, but I haven't, like, I've seen ones where the tips, so this is one piece and then it'll screw on with threads. Obviously the Allen key, the sort of the standard old school-ish Allen key ones, but I haven't seen anybody with metal bayonet lug style tip, reusable tips. The best I've seen is Good Guy with their plastic traveler ones. So yeah, that's all for now. I've got a couple of good announcements coming up. I'm gonna sneak that in right under the wire there. Got a couple announcements coming up. So come Davitude, stay fresh, cheese bags.